ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगुणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। अभ्रमं भंगरहितम् अजडं विमलं सदा आनन्दतीर्थम् अतुलं भजे तापत्रयापहं। चित्रैपदैश्च गम्भीरैः वाक्यैर्मानैः अखण्डितैः गुरुभावं व्यञ्जयन्ती भाति श्रीजयतीर्थवाक्। अर्थकल्पितकल्पोऽयं प्रत्यर्थगजकेसरी व्यासतीर्थगुरुर्भूयात् अस्मदिष्टार्थसिद्धिः। जयति श्रीगोविन्दो गोपीनाथः समदनगोपालः वक्ष्यामि यस्य कृपया प्रमेय रत्नावलीं सूक्ष्मं। भक्त्यापास्येनापि तोषं दधाने धर्माध्यक्षे विश्वनिस्तारि नाम्नि नित्यानन्दाद्वैतचैतन्यरूपे तत्त्वे तस्मिन् नित्यम् आस्तां रतिर्नः। आनंदतीर्थ नाम धाम नाम सुखमय धाम यतिर्जीयात् संसारार्णवतारिणीं य इह जनाः कीर्तयन्ति बुधाः। भवति विचिन्त्या विदुषां निरवकरा गुरुपरम्परा नित्यम् एकान्तित्वं सीद्यति ययोदयति येन हरितोषणः। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। So everyone is clear with my voice? I hope there is no problem in that.
Yes.
Just a minute. Okay. So yesterday we discussed about the famous Acharyatrayas, the three Acharyas who have contributed to this Sampradaya. Now today we'll go ahead to the next step and we will discuss about the Mangalacharana. What is the purpose of Mangalacharana? Mangalacharana is necessary for every Gantha. Any author writes Mangalacharana because whenever you take up some good work, whenever you take up something which is beneficial, there are many obstacles to it. So in order to avoid obstacles, you need to pray to a particular deity, and prayer to that deity helps to overcome obstacles. So the deity generally, the author chooses the deities which are Vishishta Devata and Ishta Devata. So the specific deity which is dear to them, and there is a special deity for every situation. So this is very important for Mangalacharana. So here the author Baldev Vidyabhushana, he starts with Jayati Shri Govindo Gopinatha Samadana Gopalaha Vakshami Yasya Kripaya Prameya Ratnavalim Sukshmam. All glories to the lover of the gopis, Lord Govinda, the covered boy who delights the heart of his devotees. It is by his mercy that I shall now recite this concise treatise named Prameya Ratnavali. There is one more interpretation to that. All glories to Lord Govinda, Lord Gopinatha and Lord Madana Mohana, by whose mercy I shall now recite this concise treatise named Prameya Ratnavali. So yesterday we saw how the 9 tenets of the teachings of Madhvacharya, which were presented by Vyasatirtha. Actually, there was an assembly in a king's assembly. Somebody had put this question to Vyasatirtha that you should just in one sentence tell me what the entire message of Madhvacharya, what he wants to say. So the whole thing you should tell me in just one sentence. So that is when he just in one shloka, in one verse, and that is when he recited this Srimad Madhvamate Haripatara Satyam Jagat Tattvato Bhedo Jivagana Harer Anuchara Nichocha Bhavangata Muktir Naija Sukhanubhuti Ramala Bhaktischa Tat Sadhanam Yakshadit Triteya Pramana Makila Amnaika Vedyo Hari. So this verse he recited. So now Baldev Vidyabhushan, by presenting his Vishishta Devata and Ishta Devata as Lord Govinda, Lord Gopinatha and Lord Madanamohana. So these are the 3 principal deities of Vrindavana. Sri Govinda, Gopinatha, Madanamohana. In a beautiful bhajan it is said. So these are the Sambandha Abhideya Prayojana Vigrahas, which are the principal deities of Sri Vrindavan Dham. So by naming these deities, Baldev Vidyabhushana is sending a clear message that because these deities are dear to Gaudiya Vaishnavas, so the teachings of Madhvacharya will now be shared from a Gaudiya Vaishnava perspective. So with the Gaudiya Vaishnava understanding. So that's the special message that's sent here. Just a minute, please be online. Yeah. So that's the message he is giving right from the beginning of this. So that is why there are 2 interpretations of this verse. Then the next Bhaktyabhasenapi tosham dadane dharmadyakshe vishwanistari namni nityananda dvaita chaitanya rupe tattve tasmin nityam astaram ratirnaha. So the Supreme Lord Krishna is pure consciousness, eternally blissful and non-dual. He is the promulgator of religious principles. His name delivers the whole universe and he becomes satisfied with even a reflection of devotion. May we always have an attachment for him. The second interpretation is the Supreme Lord in the form of Chaitanya, Nityananda and Advaita becomes satisfied with even a reflection of devotion. He is the promulgator of religious principles and his name delivers the whole universe. May we always have an attachment for him. So here there are, in the first interpretation, it is the Supreme Soul Sri Krishna who is pure consciousness, who is Nitya Ananda, pure consciousness and eternally blissful, and there is no second to him. So that Supreme Lord is the deity who is prayed to in this verse. It can also mean Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityanand Prabhu and Advaita Acharya. So prayer is offered to them. So that is what is discussed in this second verse. And the purpose is to grant us devotion and attachment for the Supreme Lord. The third verse, Ananda Tirtha Nama Sukhamaya Dhama Yatir Jiyat. So this is a prayer to Ananda Tirtha Muni, who is also called Sripada Madhvacharya. All glories to the ascetic name Ananda Tirtha, an abode of bliss, as a boat to cross the ocean of whom the wise in the world glorify. Wise in this world glorify, in this world of repeated birth and death glorify. So there is some problem with this thing. I have copied it wrongly. So Ananda Tirtha Muni or Sripad Madhvacharya is described as an abode of bliss, and he is the one who is a deliverer from the repeated cycle of birth and death. So and he is the boat who can help us cross this samsara sagara, the ocean of material world to the spiritual world. So he is the deliverer that's described here. Then there is a prayer to the Guru Parampara, the fourth verse. Bhavati vichintya vidusham niravakara Guru Paramparam nityam ekantitvam sidayati yayodayati yena haritosha. The learned should constantly meditate on a spotless lineage of perceptors through which one attains exclusive devotion. by which Lord Hari becomes pleased. So here the emphasis is given that it's very important that you should receive message in the right parampara. So without parampara, then the mantra will not have any effect. So one should take shelter of spiritual master in a genuine parampara and take instructions and guidance from him and hear from him. That is when we will actually get the complete knowledge. So that is where Baldev Vidyabhushan actually completes the whole Mangalacharana by praying to his own preceptors and the Guru Parampara to which he belongs to. So now traditionally it's Mangalacharana is not just some verse that is there at the beginning to decorate or an introduction just to attract people and all. There are specific rules for Mangalacharana. Basically sadhana chatushtaya, there are 4 things that every genuine Mangalacharana should have. So just by reading the book, just by reading the Mangalacharana, we will be clear as to should I get into it or no, what is it for me in this, all those things will be very clear. So the sadhana chatushtaya, the 4 things, we had discussed about this in Vedanta Samantaka. Similarly here also, the sadhana chatushtaya is Vishaya, Adhikari, Prayojana and Sambandha. I hope you have heard about this sadhana chatushtaya. Vishaya, Adhikari, Prayojana and Sambandha. So before beginning any book, it is necessary to look through the Mangalacharana whether these 4 things have been addressed or no. So here, what is the sadhana chatushtaya for this book? Let's get into it one by one. So the Vishaya, by naming these 3 deities, Sri Govinda, Sri Gopinath and Sri Madan Mohan, he is clearly giving a message that the Prameyas, the truths that are going to be described, they are all Vedic truths and they will be looked through the lens of the Vraja Bhava. So through the Vrindavana Bhava, the whole Prameya Ratnavali will be looked into. So that is the special thing. The specific Vishesha Devata is the cowherd boy of Vrindavana, Gopal Krishna or Govinda or Gopinatha. So he will be described through the whole thing. So that is the Vishaya, that is the topic of this whole thing. Then what is the Prayojana? What is the purpose of reading this? So Samsara Arnava Tarani means the ocean of birth and death we will be delivered. If we understand this book properly, we will be able to deliver, we will be able to go beyond the ocean of birth and death. Means we will be eligible for liberation. The next thing, the ultimate goal is Bhakti Abhasa to Rati. Means we begin with Adav Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava and Prema. These are the 9 levels, right? So we begin from Bhakti Abhasa, shadow of devotion, which can manifest to a neophyte devotee or a newcomer to a temple. He can clap hands, he can chant the name of Lord, he can hear something, he can develop some doubts. There will be Abhasa of Bhakti. And from there towards intense attachment and Rati, intense attachment called Rati, and from there to Haritoshana, satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. So this is the ultimate Prayojana, the ultimate purpose of studying this book. From our stage of initial Shraddha or Bhakti Abhasa, it goes eventually to intense attachment and satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. So that is where this book has the capacity to take us to. So this is the Prayojana of studying this work. Then who is the Adhikari? The Adhikari is described as Buddhaha, intelligent, and Niravakara means spotless and clean. So those who study this book, they are supposed to be intelligent. Intelligent means one whose intelligence is not towards material things, but who is tired by the material things. And Nateshu Ramate Buddha. What is the full shloka? Anybody knows the Bhagavad Gita shloka? Nateshu Ramate Buddhaha. Yi samsparshaja bhoga dukkhayo nevate adyantavantu kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha.
Nateshura.
So when senses comes in contact with sense objects, then attachment develops. But intelligent person doesn't fall prey to this. So that is the symptom of a Buddha. He is he has understood that sense enjoyment is futile. We should work towards the absolute truth. We should work towards understanding the absolute truth. So he is a Buddha. So one should be quite clear that material world has no happiness. Happiness lies in spiritual world only. So that is the sign of an intelligent person. So yes, Mataji, just a minute. I am about to finish one point.
Yes, Hare Krishna. So I was just wondering if right now at this stage we are not at the stage of Niravakara Buddha. So is it okay if we are learning this Grantha then?
No, have we not theoretically accepted at least that there is no enjoyment in this world and ultimately happiness is in Krishna?
Yes, theoretically yes, but
Yes.
not applied to it.
Of course, we may not be spotless or clean, no doubt about that. But one thing is, at least we are Buddha, we are intelligent enough to understand that there is no happiness in material world or in senses, happiness lies in Krishna. So that is a good beginning. He is a adhikari for this Grantha. Okay. So, Sambandha. What is the Sambandha? How is this book related to me? What is in it for me? So, that is a very important thing to understand. So, what we understand through the Mangalacharana verses is there is a Bhakta Bhagavan Sambandha. Means there is a relationship between Bhagwan and Bhakta. And what is this relationship between Bhagwan and Bhakta? The Supreme Lord delivers us. We are all tied. And anyone who is tied, he cannot release the other person who is tied. The person who is untied only can release. So we are all tied in this material world, and when we call somebody as Bhagwan, he is free, he is not tied, and he only can release us from this material world. So he is the Uddharaka, and we are Uddharya, delivered and deliverer. So that is the Sambandha that we can see here, the deliverer and the delivered, or the Uddharaka Uddharya Sambandha. So one who has love would like to see the other person free. So Supreme Lord, having love for us, would like us to be freed from this, and it's our responsibility to develop that rati, that love to the Supreme Lord. So that relationship of love also exists. Next, there is a relationship between Ananda Tirtha Muni and his conditioned souls, or Shripad Madhvacharya and conditional souls. He is the Tarani or the boat, and without that boat, Guru Karnadharam, which is that shloka, anybody can tell? Of Guru Karnadharam. Hridayham Adyam Sulubham Sudurlabham Plavam Sukalpam Guru Karnadharam Mayanukulena Namaswateritam Puman Bhavadvim Nataretsa Atma. So, once you get a human body, it's a very good boat to cross the material world. Now, Hridayham Adyam Sulabham Sudurlabham, and it's very rare to get such a boat. We are standing on the shore waiting, and in Prayagraj we saw Kumbh Mela. There's so much of a crowd, we had to really wait long to get the proper boat. So similarly, we are waiting for the human life to come so that the right boat is there to cross this ocean. Nrideham Adyam Sulabham Sudurlabham Plavam Sukalpam Guru Karnadharam. The spiritual master is an excellent captain who can lead this boat to the right destination, which is the spiritual world. Plavam Sukalpam Guru Karnadharam Mayanukulena Nabhasvatirtam. It's not just the spiritual master who is enough. It's not just the captain who is enough. The right wind should be there. Traditionally, sailors who travel in the ocean, they knew the importance of this. The right wind should be there to take the boat to the right direction. Otherwise, it would be taken to the wrong direction. So, these Anukula Nabhasva, or the convenient winds, the right winds are the winds of the Vedas. So, we require the spiritual master, we require the Vedas. Mayanu Nabhasva. With all these things, one who doesn't deliver, he is Atmaha, he has committed suicide. So we are fortunate to have such a great Ananda Tirtha Muni, who is the deliverer, who is the spiritual master, who can deliver us through this mighty ocean. And we should also pray to our own spiritual master and the Guru Parampara, who can deliver us from this cycle of birth and death. So that deliverer and the delivered, or the Tarya Taraka Bhava Sambandha is there. who is the Taraka, the spiritual master, and Sripad Madhvacharya, and the Tarya or the delivered is our own self. So that is another relationship that is discussed here in the Mangalacharana. Okay, so these are the topics that are discussed in Mangalacharana. Any doubts in this before we begin the next section?
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
So, in the Sambandha factor, does every Grantha mostly have the same Sambandha of Bhakta and Bhagwan and Guru or Shishya? Like, mostly?
It will be different because the Granthas will be for different purposes. Sometimes you want to defeat Mayavada, and sometimes you want to, for example, there is a Grantha called Katha Lakshana. So that Katha Lakshana is an art of debate written by Madhvacharya. Similarly, there is a book on Pramanas. Of course, they are all meant for ultimately liberation only, but then there will be some specific purposes also for that. So those specific purposes will also be highlighted. So Sambandha can slightly vary, and one thing. And second thing is the deity can have a special relationship. So there also, for example, here we have the Guru in the Parampara, the Acharya in the Parampara also having a Sambandha as a deliverer and we as a delivered, and similarly Lord and the devotee also Sambandha is there. So some slight variations can exist in that.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Yes, Sudhanshu Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandatam Prabhu.
No.
Prabhu, Sambandha means between which two things? Sambandha between book and subject matter, or book and audience? What is Sambandha here means?
So here Sambandha means who is being discussed about here, how is that person related to me. That way I will also be able to guess as to the subject matter, will it be relatable to me or no. So he wants to deliver, the Supreme Lord wants to deliver the living entities. Then this is related to me because I wish to be delivered. Similarly, I need a great Acharya like Madhvacharya or a spiritual master to deliver. The purpose of this book is to deliver living entities. I need that deliverance, so this book is connected to me. So that way we can establish the Sambandha. Is that clear, Prabhu?
Then Prabhu, what is Visaya? Visaya is also one part of Sambandha Chatushtaya, Prabhu? This Chatushtaya?
Sorry?
Visaya, subject matter.
Vishaya, yes. So Vishaya is also part of this. So what is the Vishaya means what is the subject matter that is discussed here. So that is definitely a part of the Sadhana Chatushtaya, yes. Anything else? Any other doubts you have?
Prabhu, I am not able to understand difference between this Sambandha and Visaya in this case.
Okay. Vishaya is what is the subject that is going to be discussed in the book. Okay. For example, in this case, Vishaya is the Prameyas, the truths that are discussed. So, and that truths, they are discussed from a Gaudiya Vaishnava perspective because Madana Gopala, Govinda and Gopinath are prayed to. So Pramana and Prameyas are discussed from a Gaudiya Vaishnava perspective. So that is the Vishaya topic. And Prayojana is what I will get from that. And Sambandha is how is this related to me? I mean, why I should read this book? Because I wish to be delivered, so I should read this book. That is where the Sambandha comes into picture. Is it now clear, Prabhu?
Okay, Prabhu, yes, not clear.
Okay. So give me a moment. Okay. Any other doubts? Anybody has any other questions? You can ask me.
Namaste, Prabhuji.
Yes, namaste.
Prabhuji, are we going to get this, whatever you have written or shared just now? Can we see it on, or are you going to share it with us?
Okay, you want it for yourself? Uh,
Yes.
okay, I can share it to you, no problem. I can put it in a Google
Yes.
Drive and everyone can take advantage of it, no problem.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Yeah. At the same time, all of you can also try to make your own notes, so that will be more beneficial. Means you will be able to study that also along with it.
Sure, Prabhuji.
Okay. So one question related to this, two questions you can note down. One question is give the kindly give the Mangalacharana verses and the translations of theirs. So that is one question. Kindly give the Mangalacharana verses and their translations. Okay. And one more question is you all have written this? Yeah, so the next question is this will be for 5 marks. Then the next one will be, can you explain please explain the sadhana chatushtaya for this Mangalacharana. Please explain the sadhana chatushtaya for this Mangalacharana. Now, the question that comes to mind is actually it was also asked to me by a devotee, because he was I told you, no, this Gaudiya Darshana, Vaishnava Darshana, sorry, it was put in the group that we are trying to start this Gaudiya Vaishnava Darshana in college. So when a devotee was promoting that, a question that was asked to him was, do we need this in our parampara? Do we need this deep study of Vedanta in our parampara? So, why this question comes? Because generally the idea is that we are into Bhagavata parampara. We are studying Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. We are into chanting the holy name of the Lord. Do we need such a deep study of Vedanta like Prameya Ratnavali or Vedanta Samantaka before this and all those things? So, what do you all think about it? Have you all thought about it? You would like to put your thoughts regarding this?
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Yes, so according to whatever I know, generally people have this understanding, as you said, that only bhakti is enough for going back to going to for liberation. But the thing is that it for the general public, bhakti can only include some sort of sentiments, emotions, stories. But beyond that, if we don't have the knowledge of actually what is Bhagwan, or what is the relation between Atma and Bhagwan, what is consciousness exactly, what are we made up of? So if we don't know who we are, if we don't know the Siddhanta, I think Bhakti will only be a collection of sentiments rather than proper knowledge. And as we know that Jnana is also very important for progress towards liberation. So that is whatever I know.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. You have explained it quite elaborately. Can I know your name, Mataji? You are Tanvi Desai.
Yes, Tanvi Manjari, that's it.
Thank you. Yes, anybody else would like to contribute? Sudhanshu Prabhu, you have raised your hand. Others, anybody else would also, can also contribute.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Kanapana. So, by this,
we can get to know what Lord wants and what Lord is trying to teach us through the great acharyas. So when we understand the purports and the philosophy uh, through proper Guru Parampara or the acharyas, we can exactly come to know what actually Lord is trying to teach us.
Yeah.
So it is not like Mataji said, like we should not be sentimental. We should be actually trying to understand what is this philosophy and what I am, where I am going, and this path. If we can nicely assimilate this knowledge, then we can make nice progress. So that is why we need to understand these teachings of Vedanta Sutra and Vedanta and all by the from the previous acharyas, the great acharyas.
Yeah.
So that's why
So
we need it.
question is, I would like to elaborate
Hare
something
Krishna
else.
Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Uh,
Yes, Prabhu, please.
Prabhuji, what I think in this, because when we study this type of commentaries and books by acharyas, then we can when then we properly understand when Krishna says I will be known by the Vedas. I am the Vedanta Krita and I am the Ved. So how we generally understand, we generally learn this sloka, but we don't understand because it is general understanding that in Vedas it is karma kanda is there only, and bhakti is totally different thing. It is a different type of cult. It is different from Vedas. So when we understand this through, because Krishna says, then it has some meaning. It is not something like this is just it is said. So he himself says that he gives references also that Bhagavad Gita that we can understand. He gives references Vedanta Sutra that these things are given in Vedanta Sutra. So he himself doesn't make himself authority just by his own words. He gives references. So in that way, when we understand thoroughly, then our understanding becomes properly, and then this aham sarvasya prabhu matta sarvam pravartate iti matta bhajante mam buddha bhasamvita, this becomes proper
That's a very important
properly.
point, that even Krishna, when he speaks, he gives authority of the Shastras. And he just doesn't say that I am God, you just listen to me. So he gives authority of the Shastra. So everything should be understood from the perspective of Shastra. Radhika Mataji, you have something to say?
Namaste. One more addition I want to know in this. It is said that tarko apratishta shrutayo vibhinnaha naiko mudiryasya vachah pramanam dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam mahajano yena gatasya panthaha. So this way of towards the Godhead is really very confusing. So whenever you are studying or whenever you have set some goal in front of your eyes, you have to follow acharyas or great Vaishnavas, and that's why we have to study this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we have to follow Acharyas, and for that reason, we have to know at least what Acharyas are saying. So definitely, we have to study that. We have Prabhupada books in our Krishna consciousness movement. So, well, is that not enough for us? So let us see.
I think
Yes.
Srila Prabhupada himself said in his purports to study the six Goswamis himself, because of course such a big sea of Vedanta is not possible to be covered by one Acharya himself. That's why we have the Parampara.
I mean, yes, that Acharyas would want that we should study the way it is studied in tradition. So let us see what Srila Prabhupada says in this regard. So, the Vedanta Sutra is a book studied by all advanced spiritual students. The sannyasis must read the Vedanta Sutra to establish their final conclusions concerning Vedic knowledge. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 6.120. So here Prabhupada is saying, especially the sannyasis must read Vedanta Sutra to establish their final conclusion. Means it's very essential that we make a deep study of Vedanta Sutra to get real Vedic knowledge. Now, This we see even in traditional sampradayas like the Shankara Sampradaya or Madhva Sampradaya, Ramanuja Sampradaya. Even till date, he doesn't get the pitha or the position of a sannyasi unless he is sufficiently learned in Brahma Sutras and he is expert, he is able to defeat somebody in these things. So till then they would not give them that position. So that is the culture of learning the Shastras that is there even in India today. So Prabhupada further says, when Bhakti Yoga develops on the basics of Vedanta philosophy, it is factual and steady. See, Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 7.102. See, he is telling that if your devotion has to be steady and stable, it should be dependent on, it should be dependent on Vedanta philosophy, and then we will be able to. So, suppose you want to love somebody, at least you should know who that person is, how he looks, and what is his appearance, and what is his background. There are some features you should know to fall in love with him. Similarly, if you want to develop a relationship of love with the Supreme Lord, at least you should have the jnana as to why he is supreme and how is he connected to us. Just now we discussed about how he wants to deliver us from this ocean of birth and death and all these things. So is that not exciting? Does it not make us more attracted towards him? So at least you should have the knowledge as to why this, who this Supreme Lord is. Then we will be able to get attracted to him. So Bhakti Yoga develops on the basis of knowledge, on the basis of Vedanta philosophy. So that is why for steady bhakti, this jnana is very important, this knowledge is very important. It is different from the jnana of the impersonalists who are primarily interested in liberation, the impersonal liberation of becoming one with the absolute truth. No, that jnana we are not speaking of. There is a jnana as a part of bhakti itself, where we will be able to understand the Supreme Lord better. So that is very important to develop devotion. No, but you see, I have devotion for the Lord already. I am worshipping the Lord with great love and affection. Every day I do my Mangal Arti, I do my Guru Puja, I do my other Arti, I do my offerings. I do so many things for the Supreme Lord. So I am already so busy in so many services. Do I need to get into this Shastra study? Do I need to get into this study? When I already, that is meant for those who don't have so much devotion. So when we are already on that stage of love, then do we need that? If that question comes, then that Prabhupada answers. There are some Sahajiyas who consider themselves elevated Vaishnavas but do not care even to touch Vedanta Sutra. A real Vaishnava should, however, study Vedanta philosophy. Actually, it's further written, study Vedanta philosophy and at the same time chant Hare Krishna. So, Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 7.72. So, what happens in the name of devotion if we develop the study of knowledge? If we neglect the process of knowledge, then we will fall into the Sahajiya trap, because the devotion will be not based on the greatness of the Supreme Lord or the knowledge of the Supreme Lord. It will be based on some sentiment, and this sentiment doesn't last for long. So, to make a real strong platform for this, we should deeply study these things. So, that is what Srila Prabhupada is saying. Further, Prabhupada said, what should be our curriculum for study? He beautifully puts this. Prabhupada, I don't have the quote now, but I can share it across later. Prabhupada says that initially for Bhakti Shastri we have Bhagavad Gita and we have some other books like Ishopanishad and all. They can be studied. For Bhakti Vaibhav, it is necessary that we study Srimad Bhagavatam and Brahma Sutras together. So that is the expectation for Bhakti Vaibhav. So initially, if you see, when Prabhupada started teaching, started introducing courses like Bhakti Shastri, there were just 10 questions, and anybody who answers these 10 questions, he will get the Bhakti Shastri degree. So that was the first step. Then Prabhupada made it little more strict, because as the disciples started advancing, he said, you should study these 4 books. Which are the 4 books for Bhakti Shastri?
Nectar of Instruction, Nectar of Devotion, Ishopanishad and Bhagavad Gita.
Yes, these are the 4 books for Bhakti Shastri. And for Bhakti Vaibhava, it is Bhagavad Gita, it is Srimad Bhagavatam. And for Bhakti Vedanta, it is Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, This is what Prabhupada wanted to introduce. So now we are gradually coming to that. We have 6 cantos of Bhagavad. The expectation, and with that expectation we will be going through this course. Okay. Any questions related to this till now? Next class onwards we will be beginning with the first Prameya. I will give a very short introduction of what is Pramana and Prameya. I have covered that in Vedanta Samantaka, but very short introduction of what is Pramana and Prameya, and then we will be beginning with each of the Prameyas. Yes, so any questions, please let me know.
Hare Krishna. I have a question. So, if we study Vedanta Sutras, of course, we study it according to our own sampradaya. But sometimes I have heard from some of the Guru Vargas that they also say that some of the Mayavada Shastras should also be known so that we can understand the Purva Paksha. So, how much Mayavad should one study as a Gaudiya Vaishnava?
Actually, our acharyas have included a lot of it in their books. If you see the works of Madhvacharya, if you see the works of the Vyasatirtha, yesterday I was telling you about a great book called Nyayamrita. If you are able to understand Nyayamrita practically, Mayavadis, because he has put their arguments and he has refuted it. Baldev Vidyabhushan also in his works refutes Mayavada. So as we